CleanTech Lithium are set to float on the London AIM market shortly, and they represent an interesting investment opportunity given the projected demand for lithium as a battery metal. CEOL, or a lithium explorer and developer from Chile again, specializing in direct lithium extraction from immature salars in the Andes, which were previously thought unsuitable for lithium extraction. If all goes well, they're targeting production in just 2 years' time, which it's an extraordinary time frame from at least one of the two lithium projects. I am joined by Aldo Boitano, CEO at CleanTech Lithium. Welcome, Aldo.
Thank you. It's a chilly night.
It's a chilly night. Yes, it's February in London. What do you think? It's a chilly night.
Yeah. Well, CleanTech Lithium. Thanks for the invitation. CleanTech Lithium.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, as you said, aims to produce zero or near.
You want to push your screen just a little bit back, Aldo, so that we can see all of your head?
Okay. There.
Your head is looking beautiful. Off you go.
Okay, well, CleanTech Lithium aims to produce zero or near zero emission lithium with minimal environmental impact. This is a clear advantage in the fast-growing European market and increasingly so in other markets as well. As you all know, battery-grade lithium is a core component of batteries needed for the rapidly growing electric vehicle market, which is seeing significant demand-supply imbalance. And because of this, the price of lithium has increased 6 times in the last year alone. We have something unique. It's a rare opportunity to gain exposure to 2 lithium projects located within the heart of a very prestigious production area, the Lithium Triangle in South America. The assets are located in basins that we entirely control by CleanTech Lithium. This affords significant potential development and operational advantages, and particularly for something we started from day one in 2017, direct lithium extraction. The projects offer to investors near-term potential with the first production, as you say, Donald, in 2024, compared that to other projects that will take more time. The work programs of the company will be able to undertake on the back of the fundraise, offer considerably opportunity of increase on resource estimation and potential value points and news flow for investors. This is where we are. This is our 2 projects at the interior of Copiapó, a mining district. We intend to produce lithium using, and we'll expand into this direct lithium extraction in some of the future slides. DLE also combined with the use of renewable energy means the overall process will have a very low CO2 footprint, this potentially providing a critical market advantage. The conventional production of lithium from brines using large evaporation ponds deplete the aquifers of the Salt Lake basins, the underground subsurface waters, and this impact indigenous or local communities. And on the other side, about something Australia has been leading, the hard rock lithium mines have the direct environmental impact of large open cast mining operations, and that require energy intensive processing, which has high associated CO2 emissions. The company is seeking to raise around £6 million. I am here in London, arrived from Chile a couple of nights ago. In total, and making an admission into AIM and will make us the only lithium listed direct lithium extraction company in the AIM market. Of the 6 million that we aim to raise, we already raised around 40% via the existing and new institution and larger investors who have already committed with Fox Davis, our broker, in 2 days of reaching last week existing investors, plus 2 days of a roadshow. Again, 40% of that total has been reached. So probably we will go around to try to raise up to 10 million pounds. We invite you all later on this week and throughout the next week to invest and contact Fox Davis and/or when we open up the market, the retail market via PrimaryBid. Fox Davis capital in 12 months is 1.05 pounds and in 2.6 in 2 years. You can reach in their website on the broker's report, a very certified specialist, Gaius King, has put out a public report on this. Again, we have had so far excellent reception. I've been working around the clock, early in the morning till late with a team of people from Fox Davis and our own people from CleanTech. We expect to get in excess of £10 million pounds, bringing major new institutions coming in the UK, Australia, New York. Let's move on. This is, again, the invitation and the opportunities. The board and senior management have a lot of mining, local and financial market experience. Steve Kessler, our chairman, started and was the first CEO of the largest, now the largest copper mine of the world, Escondida, and then started the second largest mining copper of the world, Collahuasi. Jonathan Morley, our CFO, Gordon Stein, who's also sits on the board as a non-executive director of Sapphire, who presented earlier, and people from local people, Pedro Torres and Marcelo Bravo, who have a combined a century of experience, having already worked on virtually every major Salar operations in existence. My own background is a civil industrial engineer with an MBA from the University of North Carolina, a doctoral degree of the University of Pepperdine. I have plenty of experience in mining and solar project development. And the solar is something we're looking as a source of renewable energy for the projects. And I've been a pioneer in Chile's solar industry and involved in the deployment of solar projects with a combined output of more than 800 megas. This is the projects, Laguna Verde overview. It's a steep valley basin. We had a first mover advantage. Nobody was looking in 2017 and semi-mature salars with low grade grades, and also nobody was looking at direct lithium extraction. Again, both projects are 60 to 80 kilometers apart, and the projects are located within 300 kilometers of road to the mining center of Copiapó in the Atacama region of Chile. So again, a major mining district. They're well located for infrastructure, including roads and renewable power, and Chile benefits from having one of the world's greenest national grids. Both projects, for those fans of high altitude, I'm a mountaineer as well, are located at altitudes over 4,200 meters. They have no indigenous or other communities within the basins. We have worked with the communities because they're a couple of hours away at a lower elevation. We drive through their communities to get to our sites, and we employ them and work with them on a daily basis to move the projects forward. We've done a York estimate on the subsurface of Laguna Verde. The chart here shows the resistivity being very low. That means there's a lot of saline subsurface aquifers, and that created the mix of the lagoon, which is this shallow portion here, created a measured resource of 77,000 tons of lithium, but it's the deep 400 meters, and with this extrapolating the grade of the lagoon into the subsurface that has created something that one of the reasons we're getting listed, 1.16 million tons of inferred resource estimate. But we consider this to be conservative. One, the grade was based on diluted superficial waters. The ore body dimensions follow the outline of the lake as opposed to the actual basin morphology. And this was calculated to a maximum depth of 400. And the geophysics suggests that this is deeper. We actually drilled, we finished last week, one for hole number 1, LD1, and we drilled down to 472 meters. And we found evidence of lithium and saline water all along the column. We are now waiting for the hole after we case it to reestablish the geochemistry on it and sampling it via a vertical Baylor system. Not surprisingly, also, we have temperatures of between 17 and 20 degrees Celsius. That's the evidence of geothermal water. Francisco Basin, we're resuming the drilling as we speak, again for holes. What this will mean to investors, that the resource numbers will go up and will hit the market with this catalyst events as the resource goes up. We're also working with the government on the production permit, with the outgoing government and the incoming government. It was very interesting to listen to the previous presentation talking about how the new government wants clean mining or cleaner, more sustainable ways of exploiting natural resources, and we're in the same boat, and we received very good appraisal from the incoming authorities. We're gonna we spend the money we raised pre-IPO and post-IPO money in all the environmental impact studies, environmental permits, scoping studies, pre-feasibility, final feasibility. What is happening, it's with all the admission documents, once they're public, we've worked with major companies around the planet, very serious, who have developed other projects, and we have been working and build as we receive the IPO money, we'll put that to work. Of the potentials into development projects, we're the only ones without committed offtake agreements in the world. We have had significant interest from international household name companies and would welcome an arrangement in the near future as part of our marketing and financing. We're fully funded up until the commercial, the beginning of the engineering and construction and going into production. Direct lithium extraction represents a major improvement in the sustainability of lithium extraction. Our proprietary technology is a mix of a mechanical and chemical process. I would not get so technical, but it means a mix of nanofiltration, absorption via an exclusive resin, reverse osmosis, forced evaporation that we need, resources, energy that are in the place of where we have both projects. And then after forced evaporation, ionic exchange to successfully have no evaporation ponds. No evaporation ponds means you can use less water, less impact on the environment. As we control the basins, we're the only ones that can re-inject this brine back on the subsurface aquifer. And this is what we've been doing with direct lithium production. We already have concentrated lithium up to 15,000 parts per million, and successfully produced the first part of the process. We're going to scale up as we move onto this process with a pilot plan aiming to produce 10 tons of battery grade lithium per month in the next 6 months. This pilot scale production will be a critical stepping stone on the path to becoming a commercial scale lithium producer. Engineering, construction, and operation relating to the pilot plan will be over a period of 1 year. This work will be undertaken by Beyond Lithium, leading consultant in direct lithium extraction, who has been working successfully on listed projects owned by Canadian firms in Argentina. And this process developed for the project is going to be patented by us, and we will retain full rights of these patents. This is where we are. I developed some of these solar renewable projects. There's in Francisco Basin, in the corner of our tenements, we're 1 kilometer away from a substation developed by Kinross originally, and we're 60 kilometers away in the case of Laguna Verde from another existing substation. Nolan in the previous presentation referred to the fact that Chile is the largest producer of copper. Well, Chile is also the world's second largest producer of lithium. Chile is among the highest income countries in Latin America, has the highest investment grade rating in the region. It's among the most economically and socially stable nations in South America, and leads the region in ranking for competitiveness, economic freedom, openness to investment, and low perception of corruption. Again, highly outgoing and incoming supported government due to the importance of mining to the Chilean economy. The mining law is similar to other prominent jurisdictions such as Australia and Canada. And all this excellent infrastructure with power station, transmission lines, and highways give us the possibility of the direct lithium extracted lithium go directly into port. We have one of the world's cleanest grid power and world's best region for solar energy. We also aim to produce on-site solar and geothermal potential. You've seen the growth of the market and the need of sustainable and traceable products to sustain growth in the market. And we've done, this is part of the work done by Fox Davis, evaluation and sector comparison. The simplest method to compare valuation in the lithium sector is to use enterprise value per ton of resource. Based on this measure, the average for the sector is over $90 US per ton, based just on Laguna Verde. All our listing comes with just one of the two projects. Francisco Basin could outdo Laguna Verde as we move forward in the development of this project. So it's 1.1 million tons. So CleanTech has an enterprise value per ton of US $27. We think we can go up to 4 million tons of lithium. There's a very large upside based on this measure. We could go up to 5-10 times to match the peer group. Again, invitation to write ctlithium@foxdavis.com and get on their website. The work program of the company, the use of proceeds is making us having 2 extensive drilling programs in parallel. This will undertake us to the back of the fundraise. Again, offers considerably opportunity to increase on the resource estimation, a potential valuation point, and news flow for investors. The primary use, 92% actually, of the proceeds will be to execute the exploration programs, the DLE pilot plan, environmental permitting, feasibility studies, and to provide the company with general working capital. To wrap it up, again, this is a rare opportunity to gain exposure to 2 lithium projects. We welcome you to invest. You'll be part of this journey and be part of the first and only listed direct lithium extraction company on the AIM market. So welcoming questions.
Okay, so is it too early to ask when will you actually IPO?
Yeah, our aim is to close the book by next Wednesday, and then inform the market on next Friday, and be listed officially around March 1st.
And that IPO, that's available only to institutional investors, am I correct?
Yeah, right now, but in the next couple of days, we're going to open up to PrimaryBid, and that's the main focus of being here too in this webinar. So
you're trying to raise £6 million.
It's going to be more likely to 10.
Good Lord! Oh, good Lord! And how much of that on PrimaryBid? Do you have a target? Is it not possible to say?
No.
Not possible to say. That's fine. I realize this is all very sensitive territory in terms of FCA and so on. So let's. I shall not push.
Thanks.
So we've got a gentleman called Carl Denver.
Okay.
Carl Denver is clearly considering investing in you, and yes, and he says, what does that money get spent on? Well, you've already told me it gets spent on resource upgrades, pilot plant construction, and so on.
Exactly.
How sure are you of getting the CEOL? Now, I misunderstood. I didn't understand what the CEOL was. So tell me what that is, first of all.
CEOL is a special contract that allows the government to give a production permit to a company. And we're very confident that we see this as a very low risk. The process has already passed through the first 2 stages, and the feedback to date has been encouraging. The applications are expected to take around 12 months. So we got no reason this to be a concern. We also don't need it until 2024 that we plan it. And
why do you not need it until 2024?
Because you need it to sell lithium. You don't need it to develop.
You're not going to be. Does that mean you think you can be producing lithium by 2024?
Yep. That's the beauty of direct lithium extraction. In evaporation ponds takes 12 to 18 months to develop the evaporation ponds. It's 6 to 7 to 8 ponds in a batch process. You have flooding. You have any mineral precipitating in the wrong way. You need to start the whole process again. So
you have no ponds.
We have no ponds.
It's a different process.
Different process. It's been around for 20 years too. It's not completely new. I mean, there's a production in Argentina, Livent produces 20,000 tons per year without ponds, and but it wasn't necessary. Most of the lithium come out of brine came from high grade salars like Salar Atacama that holds half of the world reserves. But nowadays, if you go back to the peer evaluation work done by Gaius King from Fox Davis, the new lithium from brine will come from lower grades, and all of them will have to go to the direct lithium extraction process. We just started earlier, both getting the properties, getting the basins, and testing and working around the technology.
I understand that even for the larger producers, it's actually unusual to have an entire basin to yourself. And not only do you have an entire basin to yourselves, you have 2 entire basins to yourself.
Yes.
So you're just being greedy, Aldo.
No. We see it as an advantage. We're very happy of the reception we're getting. I think it's a new path, not only for us, but for Chile and Argentina and our neighbors, that you can have lithium production, but at the same time be as friendly as you can to the environment, having as lower emission as possible, and at the same time be an attractive investment point for the people listening to this webinar.
Okay, so let's jump in, and I'll take some of these questions cold. Are you ready for this, Aldo?
I am.
Why is coming to market being put back? It was expected to be early Q1, but yesterday on LinkedIn you stated it would be put back to March. So that's from Josh Cole.
Yeah. We wanted to do it in those dates. We actually had to put all the board came in, a lot of controls in place. We were having to audit everything, CPRs, a lot of things, and especially originally we were incorporated in Australia, and we closed down those ventures, and we finally, just doing it as we speak, incorporated in Jersey. So all that, and then Christmas and New Year. So we didn't hit the first mark. It was like mid-December, and we said, okay, then we'll restart mid-January and the beginning of February.
Can I say to Josh, it's perfectly normal for IPOs to slide back a little bit. That's what they do. That is just what they do.
Yeah. By the way, in the pre-IPO, we raised in like this, with the good work of Fox Davis, we raised £4 million. And that's what got us to this point, and that's why we're drilling and at the same time doing an IPO.
Now you're up to both and 10 billion and a primary bid just to come up. So absolutely fantastic.
Yes,
so Josh would like more clarification. Being so close to Copiapo, do you plan to offload the product to metal specialists and Copiapo to shorten the company's supply chain, or would you process in Copiapo and ship from somewhere like Port of Valparaiso or San Antonio?
No. Our idea is to process the lithium up in the basins and to take down the on site, and then take it to the port of Caldera, take it to those ports. Of course,
there are no environmental implications of that.
Nope. I don't want to talk about other companies, but the lithium out of brine in other places has 4% of lithium and 96% of impurities. So basically you're having a truck who's taking from the high place in the Andes and is taking 96% of impurities down closer to the ocean. And then it needs to produce battery grade lithium, 3 more tons of products like as sodium carbonate and lime and other products. And that
so you're flipping that process entirely around and doing it on site and being the good guys.
As good as we can.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
to be fair.
And we haven't talked about. I briefly said it during the presentation. Is the reinjection? 85% of the spent brine clean of reagents is going to be re-injected in this basin. We're going to run full hydrogeological models, so the spent brine can speed up the process of extracting lithium and at the same time stop the depletion of the subsurface aquifers.
Okay, Peter Hodgkins asks, how many tons of LCE are you targeting per annum?
And as we mature both properties, and that's the application we've made to the government, we think we're going to be producing 20,000 tons per lithium per each, up to 40. The direct lithium extraction plants that we've quoted and that we have preliminary engineered, they're scalable and moldable. We'll probably start at 10,000 tons per annum in each property, then move to 15 and up to 20. That's our goal, and produce 40% of the world's lithium.
And so what do you have to actually squeeze into that two-year time frame? Feasibility studies and so on and so forth?
Yes, feasibility studies, the scoping, it's going to be public. We're working with world-class providers. Worley Parsons is the one.
Lots of news flow. Lots of news flow.
That's the idea, to give Fox Davis and ourselves 2 or 3 news flows per year.
Okay, Keith Coggle asks, how favorable is the new left-wing government and have they changed the constitution? Things went badly in Venezuela, he says.
Okay, good question. We actually start talking to both parties after the first round of elections, and they need investments, and the government is not gonna spend, I don't know, $400–800 million on mining projects and larger and both metals and non-metals, and then have the risk as all miners have of not going forward with the projects.
Let's just try and squeeze in one or two questions more before we go.
Yeah,
you prove very popular.
Yeah, the convention needs 2/3 of ratification of any article. Today came out the news in Chile that they only have 4 more months to go, and that they need to wrap up those things that have clearly path of going forward. One of the boundaries of the conventional talk is that they need to comply with all international treaties that Chile has subscribed. So don't be afraid of the news you read and the news you read about the convention talks and everything. We moved from $4,000 per capita income 30 years ago and more than 50% poverty to where we are today with a life expectancy higher than the US and many indicators. And that's because we agreed to disagree and to plan a country together, and it's always been center left or center right what moves the country forward.
Okay, Keith Coggle once again. How proven is DLE given the negative feedback that a US Canadian lithium company has had?
Okay, good question. First, Livent. Second, our work with Beyond Lithium directly and indirectly in this Salars in Argentina. But most importantly, we've been backed up from day one by Sunresin, who has 3 projects in China producing lithium out of low-grade lakes. And they're very open to provide us from one end the resin, and on the other end construct an APC plant. But we have something that the countries and the projects you mentioned don't have. We have a very favorable magnesium to lithium ratio. Magnesium it's a killer. You can't go above 15 times of magnesium per lithium. I mean, in Francisco Basin is 1:6, in Laguna Verde is 1:9, and that's one of the big reason that those projects have failed.
Each Salar is different, is that right?
They are similar but different. Yeah, just like copper, you need to fine tune everything. Need to get the boron away, the nanofiltration, for example, at the beginning of the process gets away a lot of the magnesium and calcium. It's a lot of work. and trust me, we've been doing it. We send samples to California, Canada, to a couple of companies, China, France, Texas, etc. And then start doing it ourselves.
Okay, fantastic. Daniel from Fox Davies tells us that he's roughly expecting 10% from the primary bid from the trade, which is very useful to know. Somewhere between 600,000 and $1 million. But I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. So where should people go if they want to participate? Primary bid. Yes, look, register on PrimaryBid.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, Aldo. I have to say that was fantastic.
Thank you.
People have been saying that's the most likely investment I've seen on all my webinars. How can they say such a thing?
Well,
all my companies are likely investments, Josh.
Yeah, well, we're gonna now go very happily to the next couple of rounds of people around the planet. We still have to go with investors as we hang up.
Well, you can tell them that you did very well on London Southeast and that the audience thought you were terrific.
Thank you, the audience, and thank you, Donald, for the welcoming and for this opportunity. Thanks.